Hi, my name is Ken Davis, and I want to welcome you to this discussion group. This may be a life changer for you. I know it was for me. My desire in putting this together was to hope that maybe you can experience a little of what I have experienced. At age 65, right now, I am experiencing life more fully alive than I have in the last 20 or 30 years. Mentally, socially, physically, spiritually, I am a totally new person. And my only desire for putting this together was to have other people experience this as well. It was St. Irenaeus who said, "The glory of God is man fully alive." As I began to develop this particular message, as I began to speak around the country on the hope of living fully alive, I discovered many people who wanted that but weren't experiencing it. It was Henry David Thoreau who is accredited with saying, "Many men lead lives of quiet desperation and go to the grave with their song still in them." I can't tell you the number of people I have talked to who identify with that. They've allowed the busyness of life to keep them from living. They are not living life. Life is happening to them. And if you'd like to experience what Christ offered to us, abundant life, better than we could ever imagine, that's what He wants for us, then I hope you will dive into this head first, get involved with the people that are around you, and discover what it means to live fully alive. I want you to sing. I want to hear you sing so that the world can hear your song. This is great. You've got a good group of people with you to help you take this journey, and I pray at the end of this journey you will drop me a note and say, "Hey, now I know what life was supposed to be like." I'm so glad to be here with you. But first, it's very important that I tell you or introduce myself to you, so that we can get to know each other a little bit better. Some of you don't know me. So I brought pictures and everything. I brought a picture of my innocent stage. This is my innocent stage. I was handsome from the beginning. And even back then, I was weird. I'm going to tell you about this, but even back then, I was a little bit strange. But that was when I didn't know. I was just innocent. And then I went through an insolent stage, kind of my teenage years. And the smile sort of belies a fact that was a very difficult part of my life. I'm going to tell you about that tonight. And then I went through the idiot stage of my life. With my pirate shirt. I can't even look at that. You just know that somewhere there's a disco ball just spinning like crazy. So here I am tonight in the confused stage of my life. This is where I am now. I am so happy to be here. Went all the way through this entire journey, and I'm here tonight in that stage right there. And I'm glad to be here. I have never felt better in my life. And to go on, so I got you a little bit of an introduction there. I want to let you know I am not right. I have never been right. I never will be right. I have been weird from day one. I enjoy things nobody else enjoys. One of my favorite Saturday things to do is to drive my motorcycle down to the highway near my home and sit on my motorcycle at the edge of the highway with my wife's hairdryer and point that at cars as they go by. I love the smell of burning rubber. Am I alone? I want to tell you, if you sit on the edge of a highway with a hairdryer on a motorcycle and you point it at cars, people will slam on the brakes. And you can sit there long as you want and just sniff of the rubber. My book is filled with the image of stakes in the ground. Some of them driven there as I experienced something, and God, in a sense, drove a stake in the ground so that this would be a moment I would never forget. That's when it happens. But the truth of the matter is, those stakes have been driven all your life. You can look back in your life like I did and remember that time when I was standing by the radio with my diaper hanging low and listening to that comedy show and screaming and jumping because inside of me there was something that responded to that kind of thing. It was the way I was wired. But also, I'm hoping as you move toward living fully alive, that you'll drive stakes in the ground, that you'll put ahead of you something that will give you a goal to work toward. You know, to think of, like my friend who was an alcoholic and in the hotel room called me one night and said, Ken, I can't do this. I can't do this for the rest of my life. I'm going to go down and take a drink. I know it. I just can't keep this up. And I didn't know what to say to him, but evidently God sort of helped me out because what I said changed his life. I said, you don't have to do this for the rest of your life. Don't do it tonight. I drove a stake in the ground. Just tonight. Make it to this stake tonight. And he woke up the next morning, the desire to drink was gone, and he made it through that terrible time, and he said to me afterwards, I don't have to do it for the rest of my life. I'm just doing it one night at a time. So whether it's physically, you drive a stake in the ground like the triathlon that I ran and had to train for then because there was the stake, or whether it's spiritually where you work toward a goal in your life, you can't be spiritually fully alive tomorrow. But you can take one step in that direction. So that's what the stakes are all about. And then when you look back, you see them lined up, all lined up, leading you in a direction that leads toward living fully alive. Some people come to me and they say, well, I haven't seen any stakes in my life. I haven't felt any stakes in my life. Well, basically that's because we usually end up living each day just right there. There's something to be said, I suppose, for living what do they say, in the moment? But there's also something to be said for looking back at your life and reviewing what's happened to you so you can see the stakes that God has driven there. You might look back and discover that in your life, the first thing that really fired you up, what was it? It might be a memory when you were a child. It could be something as simple as creating something. You made something out of nothing. You constantly were grabbing pieces of mud and building things that nobody else built. I think that that's a little stake in your life that God drove to try and help you see, this is the way I made you. I took a test years ago, and it was kind of a test that determined what is the bottom line in your life. You know, what is the one thing you have to have in your life to really feel fulfilled and happy? And when I finished the test, I walked into the guy's office, a wonderful man, and he was clapping like this. And I said, well, I didn't do anything. He said, that is the one thing you have to have. And I crumbled onto the couch. I thought, I'm a narcissist. I need applause? He said, no, that's great. He said, just direct people to the Creator with that applause. He said, you could not sit behind a desk and create something that nobody would ever see, that no one would ever say thank you for. That's not bad, as long as you reflect that back to the one that gave it to you. So look back in your life. Look at those moments where you felt where you felt fully alive. And you might discover a secret as to what you'll have to put in your life. Might not be your job, but you'll find some time to be what God created you to be. You know, I'm 65 years old, and I've been lied to all my life. My uncle was a weatherman. I spent a good part of my teen years shoveling partly cloudy off of the driveway. I am at a stage in my life, I wish I had come here a long time ago, because age should not be what brings you to this stage. But I want the truth. The only way that I can be fully alive is to let the emergency workers know where it hurts. The only way that I can be fully alive is to be willing to do the work that it takes and make myself accountable to other people. I am the best liar in the world to the most gullible audience in the world, and that's me. I believe my own lies better than anybody else. And in my book, I talk about friendships, and friendships are really built on a relationship where you can be honest with someone, they're going to love you anyway. You can hear someone be honest with you, and you're going to love them anyway. And in that way, you can identify those areas in life that you need to grow, where you need to take another step. And you can also celebrate those areas in life where you see he's breathing, he's going to make it.